Welcome everyone, this is Zozo Stock Watch, and this is your stock watch list for Thursday, July 20th. Well, the markets had a good day today. USO, the ETF for oil, was up close to 2% for the day. A lot of oil stocks were moving up, and you're going to see a lot of oil stocks on my stocks to watch list for tomorrow to see if there is possible continuation. Before we get into that though, let's take a look at the VIX. And the VIX is down here at near very lows, just complacency in the markets here, and we're holding at 979. We did have a low on the VIX of 950, so we are holding near the lows. There's just no fear in the market right now. Some things that I wanted to show you, and I'll go into that in a second, but we will look at the SPY making out new highs today. New record highs actually, so we're breaking out of this 245 spot and pushing higher, and if the bears can't push it down, the bulls are going to push it up. In the NASDAQ stocks, we're almost near record highs, or did we do it? So it's kind of very close, and probably we did it on the NASDAQ itself. So yeah, we did. Okay, so the NASDAQ is up above all this resistance and moving up. The one concern, and with oil being up today, it's natural that the transports would be down, but they were down today, and the transports were down about 0.5% on the transports, so just keep your eye on that. Next thing I'm looking at is the IWM. And that finally is, after it held the 50 SMA, we've talked about it on many videos, finally pushing up higher. So the bears could not break it down, this 50 SMA, and now they're pushing it higher. So that shows real strength in the market when the small guys are moving up. That's the Russell 2000 index. IWC, this is the microcap index for the Russell, and that is messing with that $90 area. So we're right at that resistance. And if it's anything like the IWM, looks like it's going to probably push through on the IWC. As far as the IBB goes, we're coming up to that 323, 324 spot, and we did pull back a little bit from there, but we're near highs on the IBB. XBI, holding this consolidation here, holding above the 20. This is the smaller biotech stocks, and this one needs to get over this 80 spot, and maybe we continue up above 82. Just some names in the biotechs. You see Celgene holding above the 20. Amgen, also nice looking chart, broke out of this base here and pushing up on the daily for Amgen. Some other things, XOIL, this is oil. So after this push down and almost breaking, and breaking that 43 spot that everybody was worried about, we get that fast move up, and then we pull back down to about that 44 level, and now we're back above the 50 SMA on oil, WTI. XLE is the energy sector, and you notice here we have been using the 50 SMA and hitting the 50 SMA as resistance, and we're doing it once more, but this looks like a very strong candle on very strong volume, so it looks like it may want to finally push up through it on the 50 SMA on oil sector. So we'll see on that. OIH is the oil services, such names as Schlumberger, Halliburton, RIG, which is Transocean, RIG, and you see that on over 7 million shares traded is up above the 50 SMA, so that's a good sign. And the big boy in that one is Schlumberger, but that one's still not above the 50 SMA. Alright, so let's see if there was anything else I wanted to show you. S&P. No, I did the SPY already, right? Yeah, it broke out. Okay, so I did the SPY already, and so we'll go ahead and we're going to get into some of the markets. We went over the VIX. Let's go ahead and bring this over for you for tomorrow, so you're ahead of the game. For Thursday, there's a bunch of earnings, and I'll show you that in a second. For economic, we have the Philadelphia Fed Business Outlook. We have initial jobless claims, 9:45 Bloomberg, but this doesn't really hold much weight on that. Let's see, leading indicators at 10 o'clock, and then the natural gas report at 10:30. And that's pretty much it for economic information. Today we had the housing starts came out at 8:30, and then the mortgage applications, that was out at 7 a.m. I don't see anything for the Asian overnight session as far as any Asian numbers coming out, so looks like we're okay. As far as Thursday, July 30th for conference calls, this site is earningscast.com, earningscast.com. So you can just go to this site and you can see tomorrow's going to be, a big day for earnings, right? You see all these earnings calls. These are all the conference calls, and not even all actually. These are like most of the major ones, but so you see what a busy day it's going to be in the earnings. As far as the fear and greed index, we're at about 74 right now. So 100 obviously is extreme fear, 0 is extreme fear, and extreme greed is 100. So we're at 74 now. So the market may be a little bit overbought at this point, but we'll see what they want to do next. As far as your futures for the overnight session, currently it's 7:30ish my time, and the Dow futures are down 16, the S&P futures are down 2, and the NASDAQ futures are just down a little bit, a fraction. So let's go ahead and get into some information. Let's see, we went over this Thursday economic calendar, and you can see it again for yourself. This is the trade exchange. They email this out each night, and it's a good wealth of information. You can read about the housing starts here. So I suggest you get on this email list if you are so inclined. So we had CCI earnings beat, ADTN had earnings beat this morning, TXT earnings beat, revenue beat, USB earnings beat. Morgan Stanley was a big relief to the bank stocks today, and that one did well today. Qualcomm, after the bell, their earnings came out, but they were down. I'll show you some of these charts. American Express, they beat on revenue and earnings, but the stock popped and then went down. TMUS was a big beat. That thing was soaring. I think it was up like $7 a share after hours. Alcoa beat, but I believe that stock was down. We'll take a look. And URI earnings beat. So let's go ahead and just take a quick look at some of these. SRPT also beat. So you see the movement in SRPT after hours. This thing just nailed earnings, really good earnings. So that might help the biotech stocks tomorrow. AA, like I said, it had popped and then it moved down and closed near the lows after hours. CP, which is Canadian Pacific Railway, that didn't do much at all, but it's near the lows. AXP, this also popped on the initial earnings report and then moved down to the lows. Qualcomm, popped up and then came down, hit the lows, and now we're back to about the middle of the range, around 56 on Qualcomm in the after hours. TMUS, this was a big pop winner, went all the way up to about $65. So what was that? About $3 up. Excuse me, I think I said 7. Sorry about that. And so now it's just trailing off during the after hours. URI, I didn't even look at this one myself. Okay, a big pop in it and then trailing off, but holding most of the gains in URI. CHRW, this one gapped down on their earnings. And then BHE, which beat on the revenue and earnings. Let's see, this one holding about that 35 area on BHE. Was there anybody else? Oh, Morgan Stanley from this morning. Let's just take a quick look. So this popped on the earnings, came down, but then held most of the gains on Morgan Stanley. They had very good earnings. TXT, this had good earnings, but they took a hit actually, and I'll show you the daily chart on this one in a second. So so that's some of your earnings, all right? And let me see, was there any other ones? Oh, I know the one I want to mention. STLD. This had earnings after the bell. Actually, later, around 7 o'clock, their earnings came out, and STLD was moving up, but now I see it down here near the lows. So this may affect the rest of the steel stocks tomorrow on STLD. So their earnings came out a little bit later. SRPT we went over. So we'll go ahead and move this. And oh, I wanted to show you TXT took a big hit. Had popped, and then they moved it right back down again after their earnings. Aerospace and defense on Textron. Okay, as far as earnings for tomorrow, and you can see a huge list for tomorrow for earnings. Okay, and so I'm not even going to attempt to tell you all these, but I'm just leaving this up for a few seconds, and you can kind of gaze at that and see some of the earnings, or take a screenshot if you like. You do have eBay after hours, so that's one. ISRG. It's a big name. Microsoft after the bell, and Visa also after the bell. ETFC, which is E-Trade Financial, and Capital One Financial earnings tomorrow after the bell. Let's see, is there anybody huge tomorrow? UNP is a railroad, and Travelers, TRV. And there's too many names, but there's NUE is a steel stock, so keep that in mind for steel stocks. Okay, and then we'll scroll down a little bit. And we will move to, I'm looking for the unusual options, and here we go. Okay, unusual options activity today. CRM, unusual options activity, DVN, JO, NFX, Nuon, unusual options activity, Oracle, unusual call activity, PBR, Qualcomm, unfortunately that stock went down, and Twitter had unusual call activity in the name today, so that made the roster on the unusual options activity to the call side. To the put side, GME, FOSL, Hertz, MU, VLO, and CMA. Those had unusual activity on the put side. So what that means is that's bearish for a stock, and this is bullish for a stock when you see this. Okay, so call activity, meaning that people are buying options thinking the stock's going to go up. Put activity, people are buying the puts thinking that the stock is going to go down. If you're for your options information. Let's see, is there anything else? So like I said, this is a really nice letter, and take a look at this. They do an excellent job, and once you read through this letter, I'm going to showcase this, especially options activity, in my videos each night, so this way we can see what's coming up for the next day. Alright, so we went over that. We did this. I did the fear and greed. We did that. Alright, let's get this out of the way. And let me think, was there anything else I wanted to discuss? Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the watch list. This is AKS, the steel name. So we're going to see how STLD affects the steel names in the morning. And don't forget, NUE also has earnings in the morning, so that may affect the steel names. But I'll keep AKS on watch and to see what that wants to do. You're going to see quite a few oil stocks, just because the charts are setting up nicely, so we'll see if there's any kind of follow-through or continuation. Next one up is APA, oil and gas name, and over 6 million shares traded in the name. So I'm looking for that, this 50 natural resistance here to maybe get through that and make a continuation move on Apache, APA, and APC. Didn't really join the party today. 7 million shares. I guess it did pop, 2%. So this one will be on watch for a $45 break on APC. Let me go ahead and add that in. And APC, I forgot to add that one. Next one up is a small one, AXAS. This one had almost 2 million shares traded. You see we're holding this 400 SMA, the purple line right here. So see if I can get any kind of continuation move. This one might be a possible swing trade. If it can get over this 175, and then you can use the 150 area as your stop. Next one is BASI. Looking for the $2 break here on this name on BASI. Volume was a little bit lackluster today, but I think if it can take out this $2, maybe 205, 202, maybe we get a nice continuation with volume on BASI. Next one up is BlackBerry. And you see it's been holding around this $10 spot and starting to turn back up now. It would be nice if we can, get over the 50 SMA. I might try this before it gets over that, though. I have a high of 1024. If it can get over 1030, maybe $10.30, maybe we get a continuation through that 50 SMA, or you can just wait for it to take that out and maybe consolidate a bit. 6 million shares traded in the name today. Ballard Power. This one, the daily's setting up nicely. You can draw your resistance line here. All right, and you see we broke back above that now, and then we have a high today of 304, so maybe 305, 306. Now this is a slow trader, so you might want to try this as a swing trade, and then you can use, like that 280 level as your stop out if you want to try to swing trade that. CAPR having a nice pop the other day. Pulls back a little bit, so we'll see if this one will set up intraday for tomorrow on CAPR. You see all the volume that came into the name yesterday. CEI, just because oil's moving up now. I think the other one is CIE, right? Yeah, but I like CEI better. So this one, trying to get above this 50-cent barrier. 1.4 million shares traded, so keep this one on watch. You see how it's starting to turn back up. We're over and holding above the 50 and the fast moving averages, and now we're holding the 100 SMA, so this one could get interesting if other buyers come in. CRM, this one was on that unusual options activity, and we're messing around here with like this 90 spot. So if we can get back over that $90 area on CRM, we might get a continuation move. Another one for your consideration is Oracle. I don't have it on my list, but keep this one on watch too. Starting to turn back up, holding above the fast moving averages. Pretty much, not much as far as resistance in the way except this 52 spot. So Oracle, it's not on my list, but I'll add it. Carvana, this one, holding this 20 SMA and now back above 22. You see the 5 EMA, it's back above that now. And this was a recent IPO. It had big power. It's kind of like flagging along here. I like that it's riding this 20 SMA. So keep this one on your watch tomorrow. Volume, I wish it was a little bit heavier. So it could be a little erratic during the day, but this one's interesting. FireEye had a nice pop up to 1650, but they sold it off once it hit that 1650 area. So this one, I wouldn't rush out to buy this one. I would, actually let it break this 1650 spot. If you can, where was it? Okay, if you can see this here, we have a high of 1639, so this is the number you kind of have to watch. So maybe over that 1650, FireEye might get interesting, but intraday, it's a tough trader lately. FNJN, coming out of this consolidation, it's at 348 on the close. I don't see it doing much after hours, so Watch that 350 break, that natural resistance number. Over 600,000 shares traded. Can be kind of a squinky day trader, so just remember that. FRAC, this is another oil name. Looking for that 1655 break. 1.4 million shares. It had a high of 1679, but I think if it can get back over 1655, you might get a continuation in FRAC. HPJ, this one had a pop after hours. They came out and said that their preliminary earnings were to the good side, so that was the reason for the pop. Now we'll just have to see if I can get this to set up intraday on HPJ, Hong Kong High Power Technology. So this one is definitely worth watching for tomorrow. It can make some nice moves as you see on this chart. So JONE is another oil name. Holding this $1.25 spot, trying to get over this $1.50, and we'll see if this one will make a move finally. MNGA, this one's starting to turn the corner, and there was a big volume bar in it today. Still have that 150 resistance, but if it could do like maybe 140, maybe it can push up through that 150 on MNGA. This is a slow mover lately, so this would be more of a swing trade, probably using a break of $1.25 as your stop. Momo, we spoke about it yesterday, and it's coming out of this consolidation, and so a nice move here, and 42.75 is the next number to take out on Momo, so keep your eye on that one. NADL, everybody remember when it had this big push up here, and then it kind of just faded off, but it's starting to turn back up, so it's not a favorite, but if oil's going to move up, maybe this NADL gets back into the limelight. VMI, this is a semiconductor name. We spoke about this one yesterday, pushing higher. Nice volume came into the name. See if there's any kind of continuation move. It's above all the moving averages and holding above the 50 SMA now. OAS, another oil name, 10 million, 11 million shares traded. We finally got through that $8. Full disclosure, I am long this one. I was kind of stuck in this one, but now I'm green. So OAS, 831 was the high. So over 825 may give us a continuation move if you want to try that one. PEGA starting to turn up, holding the 50 SMA, the 50, the 200, all rising. We have a high today of 62.65, so I'm looking for that to get taken out on PEGA, or you can just try it, as close to the 5 EMA if it pulls back a little bit. That's the white line right there, and that line is 5 EMA is currently 61.31, so I don't think you're going to get that if it holds this strength. But one to watch, PEGA software applications. Plug, just because Ballard Power is moving up, maybe Plug can make a move also. High on Plug 215, so over that 215, maybe this one gets going again. So a lot of eyes on this one. STLD, like I said, this had earnings. It's been strong. It's been breaking out of this, trying to break out of this resistance spot, get up over 38. So I'll have to see how Nucor is going to affect the steel stocks and how this is going to affect the steel stocks. Like I said, it did pop, but I mean it's just like crazy dots here and crazy action, so I can't really get a feel for it in after hours. Wix, we spoke about this one, and it's starting to clear up over that 50 SMA again. We're back over that 75 spot. Let's see if we get a continuation move. This is kind of in the same thing as GoDaddy, and you see GoDaddy moving up nicely. So Wix may do the same thing. US Steel, just for the same reasons as the others, AKS and whatnot. XCO, this one had a nice pop, over 6 million shares traded, and trying to get back over this 20 SMA. The 20 SMA on this name is at 264, So if we can get over, 264, or if you want to try it at 255-ish on XCO to see if there's any kind of continuation move. I believe they sold part of themselves, and I don't know. So that was the reason for the pop today. XGI, it got another contract this morning, and it finally got above this 200 SMA. So I'm not saying it's clear selling. I mean, you have resistance over here, but it's shaping up nicer than it was before. So 2.4 million shares traded. The high in the name is 237. It's at 220, so maybe back over 225, and see if that one wants to move. XTNT, I was kind of like bidding up in after hours. It's an under $1 name, but you see some bids coming in here. And the daily chart was setting up, decently. A little bit of lackluster volume in XTNT, but anything can happen in this market, as we saw with AEZS. All right, this thing just killed shorts today. Just totally annihilated shorts. When it got 2, I'm sure people were thinking, all right, this thing is up too fast, too far. And it just kept going. So fortunately, I'm not big to the short side, because I know this can happen. But especially these smaller names, So I'll have this one on watch for tomorrow. But just a big move, and then XTNT, like I said, you never know, could make a move similar. So we'll see. ZIXI, nice turn up here. 900,000 shares. The obvious number here is, that's $6. Take out that round number, and the high today was 604, so 605. ZIXI might send it higher. It's above the moving averages, holding above the 50 SMA, that yellow line right there. ZN, if oil is going to continue to move up, maybe we get that break of $5. The high was 493. Maybe 485 is enough. Don't quote me on these numbers. See how it sets up intraday for yourself, and then you can play it accordingly. But ZN is a decent mover. Some other, let's check out HUSA. Right, this one was given big pops, but it's pulled back now, so not as interesting. Haas was another one that was moving up, but it's kind of just faded out now, so not doing much of anything. So I think that's going to be it for the watch list for tonight. Thank you very much for listening. This has been Zozo Stock Watch. Please hit the like button. Please retweet my videos if you like them. Even if you don't like them, retweet them and make fun of them if you like. Also, if you're new, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And thank you very much. Have a great evening. Have a good day trading tomorrow for July 20th, Thursday. And I'm going to try to do each morning some news that comes out, so be on the lookout for a morning video. I can't give you an exact time yet because my mornings are very busy, but I do try to get out like a quick 5-minute video. Have a very nice evening. Thank you for listening.